Okay, I'm almost up every day at 3:30. I say almost because Sundays I just have a different schedule. I get up about 6. I sleep in that day. But I go to bed about 10:30, and I've lost 84 pounds now. And while I've been on this transformation, transforming my body, transforming my mind, transforming how I do things, it has just changed me, and it has gradually changed me. I think I told you in the past that the Atomic Habits is part of my success because I've read that book 3 times now, and I've applied a lot of its principles. I've also listened to someone named Barbara O'Neill. She's on YouTube, and she's got a really good perspective of the body. So I've watched her several times, several episodes, and applied what I've learned from her. But my mind and my body might say, you need more sleep, because I'm going to put up here, this is my average amount of sleep in a month. And some people are going to go, oh my goodness, I could never do that. Well, I'm not asking you to do that. I'm just sharing with you what I've done and what I'm doing. And I never set out to really try to get less sleep. I have gradually, over the years, I've gradually decreased my sleep, because a lot of times we do need a certain amount of sleep, and everybody's different. But a lot of times sleep's overrated. And we stay in this little comfort zone of our bed, and when we don't have to, and we can get a lot more accomplished. But I'm working on changing my mentality, continuing to do that, on what I can do and what I can't do. And so I'm gradually training myself to sleep less. And I've been doing that for several years, even before I started losing weight. Because when I read one of Donald Trump's books, where, he averages 3 to 4 hours a night of sleep, and he's in his office early, he said, I have about anywhere from 2 to 4 hours more on my competitor because I don't need to sleep as much. And that really made me think. And I thought, why am I sleeping so much when I could be in my office making things happen? And so that's what I've tried to do. But anyway, Henry Ford said, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. So it's all in how you think. And I'm really studying this more and more and more. God gave us a brain to use. We use a very low percentage of it. If we could just continue to train our brain and tap into more of its resources, just what would we be like and who could we become? Not trying to be anybody else. Who could we become from within, from internal, to be ourselves? Who could we become? How much more successful could we be? And Donald Trump wasn't the only one that sleeps less. I mean, Thomas Edison averaged 3 to 4 hours a night, and so did Michael Jordan. Now, Kobe Bryant, by the way, he used to average 3 to 4 hours a night. And when he started really getting into heavy training, he bumped that up to about 6 hours a night. But still, if we're going to change and improve, then we've got to think different. And that's why I'm titling this Grit and Grind, Mastering Mental Toughness for Success. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Hey, this is Greg McAfee, and welcome to the Greg McAfee Show. Now let's get started. Well, welcome back to the Greg McAfee Show, where we discuss steps to successful entrepreneurship, how to take your business to new heights, and ultimately follow your dreams. Today, we're going to be discussing the grit and the grind, and we're going to master mental toughness for success. So, the Oxford Dictionary of Sports Science and Medicine defines mental toughness as this: a quality of mind or intellect that includes the ability to control emotions, remain focused, and refuse to be intimidated. I like that. It's also the ability to manage and overcome doubts, concerns, circumstances that prevent us from succeeding. Man, I just have to read that again. I want you guys to hear this. The Oxford Dictionary of Sports Science and Medicine defines mental toughness as a quality of mind or intellect that includes the ability to control emotions. We must control our emotions as leaders. We must remain focused, and we must refuse to be intimidated. It takes a lot for someone to intimidate me. It really does. Because I've learned to think different, and as I continue to do this on this journey, as I continue to learn more and more and more about controlling the mind and making it tougher and faking out my brain when it says stay in this nice cozy bed and I have to fake it out and jump up and get ready, it takes a lot to intimidate me. It's also the ability to manage and overcome doubts. Sure, everybody has doubts, but don't dwell on your doubts. And you need to overcome your doubts and overcome your concerns and overcome your circumstances that prevent you from succeeding. If you're not succeeding, there's a reason why. Simply put, mental toughness refers to keeping one's focus and persisting even when things don't go as planned. And that happens every day in business. Let's face it. I've said this often. Business is tough. If it was easy, everyone would be in business. All right? So here's what I'm going to start off with today. I'm going to start off with 5 key traits of mental toughness that we need to learn. All right? Number 1 is resilience. The ability to bounce back from setbacks and challenges, and then just viewing failures as opportunities. Number 2 is emotional control, staying composed and focused under pressure. I've been doing this 34 years, okay? So for 34 years, I've ran into just about every problem a business could run into, just about. So someone asked me the other day, how did you make that decision so fast? Well, I've probably ran into that decision or problem 50 to 100 times. So I've already solved it. It's not that difficult. The first time it was very difficult. The second time it was very difficult. But you have to have emotional control, staying focused under pressure, regulating those emotions, okay? Number 3, self-belief. You got to have this to be mental tough. Confidence. We talked about this. I think I did a whole podcast on confidence. Confidence in one's ability and judgment. Maintaining a positive outlook, even in uncertain times and difficult situations. And number 4, focus and discipline. Consistently setting goals and sticking to them. Prioritizing your actions and aligning with long-term objectives while resisting distractions. We all have distractions. We cause our own distractions, but we have distractions. All right, number 5, adaptability. Embracing change and uncertainty. Showing flexibility in approaches and strategies to navigate unexpected situations with ease. We should make it look easy. We should just make it look easy, because if you're adaptable, you just adapt, overcome, make it look easy, okay? Now, to build a tough mind, so those were the 5 things, by the way. You've got resilience, emotional control, self-belief, focus and discipline, and adaptability, okay? Now, to build a tough mind, your mind knows you better than anyone else. It knows what it takes for you to tap out. It knows what it takes for you to stay in bed. It knows what it takes for you to throw in the towel. So we have to fake it. We have to fake out our own mind. Say, Greg, you're crazy. Maybe, but it works. It's been proven time and time again. When my mind says at 3:30 a.m., stay in this warm, cozy bed, hit the snooze button a few times, I then know I've got to get up fast. So I spring up, I sit on the edge of my bed for a minute, I thank God for another day, and I get up and I get in there and I get ready. And then I have a goal game. I have to be ready by a certain time. So I know the things I do in the morning that I have a certain amount of time limit for it. It keeps my morning exciting. It's not just, oh, I got to get up again. It's here's what I've got to do in this amount of time. And I love it when I'm 5 or 10 minutes ahead. Okay? I go in. I don't make coffee at home. I wish, well, I don't know. I like my coffee at work. And so I don't wish I did. So if I really wished it that much, I probably would. But I go in, I sit, I take my vitamins, I take my blood pressure. The reason I take my blood pressure, I take it morning and night because, I've lost 84 pounds. I'm off all 6 of my prescribed medications that were for blood pressure and cholesterol. My cholesterol is at an all-time low, and my blood pressure is very good, very solid. Okay? So that's what I have to do. Again, I'm not telling you need to do this. I'm just sharing with you what I have to do. When my mind says, stay in bed, I know it's go time. I got to get up because my mind will talk me into it. My mind knows that if it tells me it enough, I'll probably stay in bed. I'll probably hit that snooze button. I used to do that. See, that's the thing. I've learned from it. I used to hit the snooze button. Yeah, I was motivated and I grew a business and I gained a lot of weight and I weighed 314 pounds and I still grew a business. We broke records and all that kind of stuff. But I'll tell you more about that in a minute. Now, to build a tough mind, one of my pet peeves is when I or someone else tells me that I deserve something or that I've earned something. That's just, that's the mentality that took me to 314 pounds. And it kept me there for several years. I was between 300 and 320 for decades. Okay? At least 2. All right? And so that way of thinking kept me there. Like I said, I was growing a business. I made things happen. But it caused me a lot of health issues. And it caused me to be miserable. I was miserable. Like I said, I had a lot of fluid buildup, lymphatic fluid buildup, and in my ankles, and it just wasn't good. So, I don't deserve anything. Now, I can look at it and go, I've earned this, but if I look at it another way, I'm still earning that. Okay, I'm not done yet. I haven't earned anything yet. I put my trophies in a box. They're put away. We keep the top trophies out in the front showroom for customers' sake. It looks cool, but those trophies mean nothing after I win them. I'm on to the next one. So learning from setbacks and failures and staying more positive during these times is also a good way to build a tough mind. I had to learn all these things. Okay? Now, habits of mentally tough individuals look like this: consistent goal setting and tracking progress. They're very concerned about goals. They're very concerned about setting them reasonable, realistic goals and then tracking progress. Very important. Very motivating. They also practice gratitude, okay? They don't have, tough-minded people, they don't have it all down. They don't have it all together all the time. And they practice gratitude. They thank people who helped them get to where they are. And they maintain a positive outlook the best they can. They maintain a positive outlook. They also prioritize self-care. That's healthy diet, exercise, and also sustaining mental health. Be careful who you hang with, be careful what you read, and definitely be careful what you look at, okay? Some things are definitely not healthy to look at, read, or people who, if I was an alcoholic at one time in my younger age, I don't hang around people who drink. It wouldn't be wise. All right, strategies to develop mental toughness. Building strong coping mechanisms for stress and adversity. How do you do that? Well, you do it by recognizing your triggers and your response patterns. I know what triggers me. I'm working on that. I know how I respond to certain patterns. So, for me, I must pray. And my pastor preached a message the other day, and he mentioned this, and then I looked it up as well. And when you pray to God and you meditate to God, with God, it's like chewing cud for a cow. A cow sits there and chews that grass, chews that cud over and over again. He regenerates it and chews it again. Okay? So when we pray and meditate on God and His Word, it's like chewing cud. Isn't that motivating? It's chewing cud. Okay? Might even show a picture up here of a cow chewing cud. That's something you'll never forget. Okay? So we pray, we meditate, we reflect on our emotional responses. How do we respond to people? And then reflect on that. What was your trigger there? What caused you to respond that way, good or bad? Okay? And then you have, why do we need mental toughness in leadership? Well, we've got to lead by example, okay? People are watching us. They're watching us all the time. They're watching what we do, our actions, how we respond. So we have to lead by example through resilience. We empower and inspire teams to overcome challenges. We encourage them. We empower them to make decisions. And we make tough decisions with clarity and confidence. I often say, make a decision right or wrong. But if you're making it with clarity and confidence, most of the time it'll be right. Okay? Most of the time I'll say it will work out. Okay? Now, I want to wrap it up with 3 myths of mental toughness. I like this. Mental toughness means never showing your weakness. Nah. Really? I mean, mental toughness does not mean suppressing emotions or pretending to be Superman. Actually, that's another pet peeve of mine, somebody wearing an S on their chest. The only S I wear on my chest stands for struggler. I struggle through things. I have to work hard to understand them and make them work. So, a mental tough person is not invincible. It also involves acknowledging challenges. I have a lot of challenges. People who are mentally tough have a lot of challenges. But they don't let them dictate their actions or their attitudes, and they work through the challenge. And one of my favorite terms is stay strong. They stay strong during the challenges. They're not weak. They're strong. Doesn't mean they're not breakable. Doesn't mean they're invincible. We learn from being broke sometimes. All right. Number 2 myth. You're born with mental toughness, or you're not. Neat. You know, when I joined the Marine Corps and made it through boot camp and everything else I made it through, I don't know how much mental toughness I had back then. I mean, I might have had a little bit, but I definitely did not have as much as I do today, because there's no way I could have made it through Navy SEAL training back then. I just couldn't have made it through. I'd hate to say I'd be the guy that rang the bell, but back then I might have rang the bell. Today, no way. I don't have the body or the physical ability. I don't think I do yet. But I definitely have the mental toughness to make it through SEAL training. Mental toughness is not inherited. It's a skill to be developed over time. through deliberate practice. We got to practice everything we do. We practice here at McAfee all the time. We role play sales calls. We role play service calls. We role play answering the phone. It's practice, practice, practice. And we develop and improve over time. It's deliberate. It's deliberate coping strategies and positive thinking. Anyone, and I mean anyone, can build resilience and strengthen their mental fortitude. Anyone. You just got to want it. You got to want it bad. It's like that saying, you got to want, when you want something as much as you want air, you'll do it. If I hold you underwater for a while, if you want something so bad as much as you want air, you'll make it happen. All right, the last myth, number 3, mentally tough people never fail. Nah. That's a big nah. The reason is, even though most resilient individuals face setbacks and failures, actually, they fail more than most. What sets them apart is their ability to learn from the failures, learn from the experience, and use the experience as a stepping stone to their personal growth. And what David Goggins says, he puts every time he fakes out his brain, he builds a callus on his brain. So the next time this happens, we're not going there. That callus is there, and the brain's not going to try to talk him out of it again. There's a callus there. The brain's now saying, I'm going to try to stump you somewhere else, but on this one, you got it. Because he's already built a callus. And that's a stepping stone to personal growth. Those experiences. When you overachieve, there's a callus. When you do more than expected, that you expect, not anyone else. I don't care what everybody else expects. I do more. I do more than what Greg McAfee expects. That's the only guy I have to deal with, is the guy in the mirror. Greg McAfee, his brain, his mind, my mind knows my weaknesses. It knows what it can talk me out of. And now, with the way I think, as soon as I get a negative from my mind, I go positive. I go the opposite way. It's working. I'll tell you that. So, folks, the stepping stones to personal growth is just part of the journey. And it's a fun journey. You know, God gave us this mind to use. And my son came in, brought me a cup of coffee early this morning. And I said, just think about this. And this is made up. This is made up. It's not biblical. It's just out of Greg McAfee's mouth. But just think about this. If we live our whole life and we're fortunate enough to believe in God and worship Him and live for Him, and we get to heaven, and wouldn't it be sad if they said, you know, you only use 10% of your mind, but you had the capability to use up to 50% of it? We gave you the capability to use up to 50% of it, and you never tapped into the source, even though you had it right there. Whew, that would be sad, but that wouldn't be heaven, because there's nothing sad in heaven. So I just made that up, but just think about that. God gave us a mind to use, and some of us don't use it at all. And some of us are trying to use it, and some of us are trying to figure it out and tap into a source higher than where we're at today. And that's me. I'm telling myself what Henry Ford said. Whether I think I can or think I can't, I'm right. Well, I think I can. And now with all these exercises, and I've had 7 surgeries in the last 12 years, and I have a lot more pain than I ever did. When I have pain, I talk to myself often. You know, this pain is just a weakness and it's going to leave the body soon. And it appears to. I have less pain when I tell myself that. And I continue to tell myself that. I continue to tell myself you can do this. I continue to tell myself, yeah, you worked out hard this morning, but you're going to do cardio tonight. You're going to push it hard. You can do this. You can do this. You can do anything for 30 minutes, right? Yes. Boom. Okay? I don't know. If that doesn't do anything for you, what they used to say, your matches are wet. If that doesn't light your fire, your matches are wet. Okay? Who uses matches anymore? I don't know. It's an old saying, but you still get the point, right? All right. Good coffee. I'm wired today. I hope I helped you out. But before we wrap up, if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe below. You can also support this podcast by rating and reviewing on iTunes or your preferred listening platform. Tune in next week. I'll do my best to keep challenging you in all that I talk about. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Facebook at The Greg McAfee. No spaces, no underscores. And as always, thanks for listening. Carry on. God bless. Make today the best day of your life because we're not promised tomorrow. See you later.